Welcome to the dork forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the dork forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, this is Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest at the Intercontinental Hotel at the Todd English. We're in Midtown, Manhattan, and I'm here with Ophira Eisenberg, who we have the same voice, we're told, by several people. But here's the scoop, folks. Think of it as a dork expedition, because it's going to be slightly distracting.
It's going to be weird.
It's going to be a little weird.
Do I have to say my name before I speak so people can tell who's who?
I know. This is Jackie speaking, and I'm like this.
This is Ophira speaking. Maybe I'll try to go higher or lower. I don't know. Maybe it is the same.
Maybe it is. Maybe because you're from Canada, and I'm from Wisconsin, and obviously it's just
the same.
It's just a slew of very pale people walking around.
Pale people who say sorry. And
sorry a lot.
I hope one day that things are going to get better.
A frugal bunch. A bunch of people who are like, let's split a bass boat.
I have low expectations.
How about yourself? Oh, we should do a team thing. Because I can even hear the voice. Anyway, yeah. So, Ophira Eisenberg, you have a show on NPR.
I do.
What's it called?
It's called Ask Me Another. This is the nerdiest thing I've ever been part of.
Oh, yeah?
The dorkiest thing I've ever been part of.
Oh, perfect. Ask Me Another.
Ask Me Another. It is, it's a new trivia word game puzzle show.
Okay.
Where we have, I host it. Mm-hmm. My one-man musician, our house band, is Jonathan Colton.
Oh my God.
Yes. And
I don't know who Jonathan Colton is, except for people keep going, Jonathan Colton is the best thing ever, and he has a cruise ship.
He's on that cruise ship very soon.
And I was
the Joe
like,
cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might be doing the show on that next year. Fingers crossed.
That's awesome.
So, and we have real contestants. People apply to be contestants just by filling out, basically. We have a little, like, three-cheater.
But it's not like a call-in contestant?
No,
like that other
live.
That other show?
Wait, or
Don't Tell Me,
Wait, World. Oh, all kinds of, yes. No, this is live contestants.
Yep.
We tape it at the Bell House in Brooklyn, so it's taped live in front of, like, an audience of 300, sort of intimate. And we have a whole slew of puzzle writers who submit puzzles. They're very clever, like just fun takes on things. I'm trying to think of a good example because it's not straight ahead trivia. It's a little different.
Okay.
Like there was one that we did that always comes to mind, which was called replacement math. So this is like a word gamey one, but it would be like maids a milking minus pi plus. You know, like, so all things in your mind that you would have to, figure out the numbers from and do the math together.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Or sometimes there's anagram stuff.
Jumble.
There's jumble. And then we do a music game with Jonathan Colton, so sometimes it's just a trivia question woven into, like, a Billy Joel song that someone will have rewritten all the lyrics, and there's a trivia question worked into that.
Okay.
So they're very fun, they're very clever, it's very nerdy.
It's very nerdy, very smart. It's, have you ever played, there's a board game, I'm so bad at puzzles.
I cannot believe how bad I'm at trivia to be hosting the show. But that was not a requirement.
Because you're just hosting.
Yeah. So, although we both know the word just before hosting is a hilarious combination.
Right, because it's its own three jobs, hosting.
Exactly.
Hosting is such a big fucking deal. But it's trivia mixed up with some sort of jumble.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No. When I went in I
can answer a question.
I can answer a question too, and when it's factual, you either know it or you don't. Right. And that's just the end of it.
Yeah.
And we try. There's some of them that are like that, like you just sort of know it.
Warren G. Harding and Nathan Hale get on a train going 300 miles an hour. Right. And you're like, what's happening?
Right.
What year is it? You're like, well, those years don't intersect, but okay.
Or we have a game coming up that I think the concept is around Carly Jepsen's song "Call Me Maybe."
Yeah.
It's "Call Me MB," and we ask you trivia questions where the answer will be someone's initials that are MB.
Oh, Maria Bamford.
Exactly.
Mario Battelli.
Good. I'm gonna have to write questions around these.
All right. Well, that's not bad. It's one of my favorite board games right now isn't a board game. It's a tile game, and it's called Quirkle, and it is
It's adorable.
Idiot Scrabble.
Oh, so if, like Scrabble with photos or something?
Scrabble with shapes and colors. Shapes and colors. It's good for everyone 4 and above. And but the thing is there is a small amount of strategy. So it can be hard.
I like that game Set. That is sort of.
What's that?
That game Set. It's just it is colors and shapes.
Oh, nice.
And you have to. It's sort of a match game, but on a little bit of a higher level. I mean, really, at some point you're like, this is for children, until you're like, it's really hard.
Right, and you know what you're doing? You're staving off some Alzheimer's there. That's what you're doing.
Think?
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
So
little genetics.
So the NPR show will air on NPR.
It airs on public radio. It's not in LA yet, but it's in San Diego and Sacramento and like circles LA.
Excellent. And is Paul Poundstone on it, or
no? There's no other panelists.
Okay, so it's you and Jonathan Colton as sort
and a
of
puzzle
the
guru,
names.
And we have a puzzle guru that is that rotates.
Okay, so it's like the New York Times. Like whoever makes crosswords.
Oh, Will
that
Shortz?
Guy might be on.
Will Shortz actually was our special guest. We also have a celebrity person of note on per show that I interview.
Okay.
And then we write a customized game for them. So he was one of our guests, and when he came out, I didn't even know he had walked out. I just announced him, coming up, our very special person, Will Shortz. And I guess he popped out of the green room to sort of wave to the crowd. And I thought, oh my God, did Prince just walk in? Is it the Beatles? Like, what's going on here?
They've gone mad.
They went crazy. Oh, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Food is being delivered.
We're getting our lunch. This is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Display is all, they say. And I'm hoping not, actually. I'm hoping that the food actually tastes as amazing as it does.
Thank you.
Hey, American public, we're going to take a small break and eat lunch.
Hey, American public.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The restaurant is filled right up, and so it's even louder, Patrick. I'm sorry. We thought it would be dead.
I thought it would be perfect.
We thought it would be.
Although I will say I've been here before, and that's once, and that's why I thought, this place was empty, and it's in the middle of Midtown.
Right.
And I thought, how great, an empty place in the middle of Midtown.
Right. It's nice. The nice middle of.
Nice.
Because you live in Brooklyn?
I live in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn.
Downtown Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Is that Greenpoint?
No, that Greenpoint is way too cool.
Own thing.
As I like to say, I auditioned to live in Greenpoint, but I did not get a call back. So
last time I was here, I stayed in Hari Kondabolu's apartment, right off Prospect Park.
Oh yeah,
he lives. Is that Greenpoint?
No, that's
Prospect Park,
Prospect
probably.
Park, yeah.
Yeah, but I saw the fanciest strollers I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
And I always stay on the Upper West Side. You'd thought that I would have seen the fanciest strollers.
Well, you wouldn't see them because up in the Upper West Side, people don't like to see them, so they have their own little routes.
Right.
There's some underground railroad that the maids have to take the kids on that during the day.
I'm sorry, my Irish nanny is busy.
Yeah, put this a little more down to earth. Just the $5,000 strollers. Actually, one of my favorite things in Brooklyn because I feel a combination. I'm just like, whatever middle income, just making my way.
Yep.
There's people there that are extraordinarily rich, of
Yes.
course, and who have lived there forever.
Yes.
And then there's people that are totally poor.
Right.
Thus is Brooklyn. But I will be, there's a great equalizer because I will be beside a woman. I was watching a woman haul one of those $7,000 strollers down the subway stairs as I just ran by her. Right. And then we both just stood beside each other waiting for the F train. And I was like, see? This is how it is here.
The F train is the great the subway system is the great equalizer.
Yes.
Whenever I come to New York, I always want to take cabs. Because that's what God would do, which is, I think, a Woody Allen punchline from 1970. And, but I love New York so much, and because the subways are faster than cabs.
They can be,
but they're never door to door. And
and I had this conversation with someone recently. I was like, do you know when you're in a rush and you go, screw it, I'll grab a cab? And they're like, amateur mistake. I'm like, I know, amateur mistake. Because you always are screwed by that decision.
Right,
always.
right. Well, so last night I was on the Lower East Side doing sets.
Yeah.
And I'm staying on 96th and West End.
Yeah, it's
long ways, the furthest ways away. But it was 12:30 at night. And I was like, I am willing to spend $30 on a cab to get out of this neighborhood. So I start walking. I'm like, well, maybe I'll take it. If I walk to the west side, it'll be $20. And so I start heading to the west side, heading toward the west side. And of course, I ran into the 6. And, I can just take the 6 up to 96 and then take a $10 cab across
That's
town.
right.
Which is exactly what I did.
Oh, yeah.
And I could have taken a free bus.
But that's a mistake.
The bus?
You do not take buses in this. I mean, you can take buses in this town.
Right.
That is slow.
It is slow, but not at 1 a.m.
That's true. But imagine a cab that just kept stopping.
We're going to pick one more person up. Is that all right? No, they're going to sit on your lap. Is that all right?
Oh, we got to lower the bus because this person has a cane. Everyone hang on.
Yeah. So did you grow up in Toronto?
Calgary.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, on the west. The great
western part of Canada.
Cowboys, oil barons.
Guy Branham would know.
Yeah, right. The tar sands that they're really interested. That pipeline that they want to make that goes from Alberta basically down to California.
Yeah.
That they're always voting on. I mean, Alberta wants that so badly.
I'll tell you.
By the way, this is Ophira speaking, in case my voice sounds too much the same.
Right, this is Jackie speaking, saying that California wants everyone's water and oil. And as always, just build another pipeline. We will pay for it. And then we will all walk your dogs, because dog walking was created, I believe, in California.
That's where it started?
Yeah. It was an actor who said, "I can't go to the office. What do you need done?" You know what? I can't. What else? Pilates. I'm doing this joke about how Pilates isn't real. It's not real. That was created. Whenever I see a yoga studio, I say, "You're welcome." Because that's what we made. We made that up. That's not real.
Oh, and there's piloxing.
What's
piloxing is the new craze.
Oh, piloxing?
Piloxing.
Is it boxing and Pilates?
Boxing and Pilates.
Stretchy boxing?
You do some boxing, and then I don't even think you take the gloves off. You do those 100s where you're pumping your arms at your sides with gloves on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just combine anything.
Yeah, I
want to do like Jogya or something like that.
Ooh, Jogya. I met this woman who she told me, I do angry yoga in Brentwood. And I was like, wait, why should it be, it shouldn't be angry.
What is angry yoga?
She said that it really gets to the meat of you really get some workout. And I was like, you know what I like to do? Take a walk that ends in a coffee shop. That's my favorite kind of exercise. I enjoy flowers. I like to read flowers. I did ask Andy, my husband, the other day, I was like, should we hike? And right?
I like that as just like an open-ended goal.
Well, it was inspired by the fact that he asked me 3 months ago, should we adopt?
Whoa, and I said, that's a different question.
Well, I know, but we've already discussed it.
Yeah.
And so we're in the car, and it just comes up out of the blue, and I'm like, did you want to adopt? And he goes, no. But should we? I was like recycling? I don't know, going to church? Voting? Voting? Yes.
It's an obligation. It's a requirement.
Right. And I said, let's not, if it's an obligation. I'd rather, and then I was telling him, should we? And I genuinely was telling my friend Elizabeth Decker this in Seattle, and in the middle of that story, she goes, you guys should foster. And I said, you should fucking foster.
Oh my God.
It's the most work in the world.
No.
You know who fosters? Angels. Angels foster.
That's your life.
That's it.
I think it should
if
be.
we fostered, that's what we would be doing. He would have to get a job he would not want, and I would have to stop doing stand-up comedy. And you know what? We would give back to society. It turns out I've already made the decision that I will be killed by a child that was raised feral.
Can you imagine the poor child that's like, yay, a home, this place looks great, what do you do? All right, kid, by the way, I'm never home. Never ever home. But this guy, always home.
Right, here's a latchkey. Right. And or we're both at work and full of rage at you. How about that? Is that anything? Is that something you're looking for?
We just did this because we thought we should. Got it?
You got six years to get your shit together. And
here's a list of some hospitals in the area. We'll see you later.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah. So you're married just a short amount of time, much like myself.
Oh, I like that you call it a short amount of time.
Do you feel like it's
it's substantial?
Well, 7 years, that is pretty good, but I feel like, I know people that my age, that have been married for 25 years.
Right, but they've made mistakes.
Right. They chose early. My friend TJ from Portland, she's never wanted children, and they got married when she was 22.
Yeah.
And she spent the first 15 years of their marriage telling people over and over, people who were raised poorly, and would be like, are you guys going to have kids? You guys going to have kids? And she's like, still none of your business, and still no. And I don't want children.
It's amazing how everything is so public like that. I mean, you know, that thread of a comparison, but comedy is a little bit like that too, where everyone feels like they can just weigh in on these major life things that you're doing that they know nothing about.
Right.
Like, oh, so do you make money at that? Oh, do you make money at your... I mean, who would ask that?
Right, it is not... It actually is not a question usually asked.
Yeah, I'm the only profession... Like, we're the only profession on the planet that they go, oh, well, why aren't you on Saturday Night Live? It's like, really, I have to do better? I've never asked you before, like, right. Oh, you're a teacher? Are you ever going to teach, like, at Harvard?
Right.
I've never asked anyone that.
I did ask my brother one time why he doesn't apply to the University of Chicago for to be an econ professor, because he's an econ professor. And he goes, Jackie, I'm not great. I'm good. He said, I think of myself as the hee-haw economist. I do some really good farm econ of Wisconsin.
You know what? That's what I'm going to say to someone. Next time someone in my family's like, well, are you ever going to be on HBO? I'm going to go, look, I'm just good. All right, I'm just good.
Right. I mean, and the whole idea, defining success. I mean, I genuinely, you're a plumber? What kind of, so are you doing the city plumbing? Like, what, I mean, what would be
who are some of your clients?
Who are some of your clients? Do I know them? Hewlett-Packard? And,
you worked with any stars on their things?
You're an IT guy? Do you do the IT for the Navy? Who else, what do you do? And, it would just be...
I did IT for years. That was my day job.
Oh, really? What operating system? What operating system?
It was mostly, back in Windows XP, I think was predominantly. I was always a fan of 2000.
Right. I still have XP home on mine, and the Microsoft Suite is the 2003.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's a nice little runner.
It works fine.
No reason to upgrade.
It just got worse, by the way, everybody. It just got worse.
Yep. Though I understand Windows 7 is nice from my friend Andrew.
I can't even get involved anymore.
No,
I can't get involved. Although we bought my 85-year-old mother, 83. Sorry, Mom. An iPad for Hanukkah, Christmas, Festivus, whatever.
Yes.
And there is still a part of me that is that jerky IT person.
Yeah.
Because she asked me how to do something. She was like, how do I save a photo? Or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, go to the photo and tap on it. In the upper right side, they will turn it to like...
Wow, that has such IT customer service rage in it. You're like, ma'am, is the unit plugged in?
I would be like, okay, I'm not going to call you by your name. I'm going to call you end user.
I like it. So can you build computers too?
No, I mean,
you never did that?
I will admit to you, I never went to school in it.
Right.
When I needed a job to get through college, and I got a job at the computer lab because I couldn't afford a computer, so that was my idea to be able to use it to do my papers.
Oh, nice.
And I call myself IT pretty.
Okay.
I'm not a model, but I am IT pretty.
Excellent.
Which means that all the other IT guys would help me.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just pretty enough for them to think they had a chance.
Right.
Yet feel excited about that chance.
Yes. And one day, what does your husband do?
He produces promos for USA Network.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in the showbiz.
Yeah.
And, my husband makes video games for a living, so it's super fun.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, my husband knows more about comedy than I do.
My husband knows less about computers than I do. Weirdly enough, I am the technical interface in our house. We have almost the same temperament, so he's fine. He's full of rage, and will not, and wants to just punch himself in the face.
Yeah,
and you're like, and yet I'm right here, so there'll be no hitting of yourself. So you have to.
I'm gonna have to put the soft gloves on.
Exactly. We'll cover mittens. Don't scratch yourself. And like babies.
Yeah, like tiny babies.
Yeah. And it's I never did ask you what your dorkdom was.
Oh yeah.
Do you have one?
Well, I was thinking about it, to be honest with you, and I feel like there's 3 tiers.
Okay.
The truth is, my real collection is other dorks. It's very weird.
A people collector.
And it's other dorks. I surround myself by them. I work with them now at NPR.
Right.
But I am actually not good at any of the things that they are good at.
Okay.
I'm not very good at trivia and knowledge.
Right.
Not good at knowledge.
Not good at knowledge. I don't have enough information to be good at this knowledge business.
I don't know. I read comics and graphic novels a little bit, but I'm not really into it. Don't really get it.
Well, you need a real native Sherpa to take you deep.
My husband is the biggest comic book nerd on the planet, and he also writes an autobio comic called So Buttons.
So Buttons, S-E-W?
S-O Buttons, like so buttons. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And they're all comics about his life. I'm in some of them. I really like my hair in these.
Does he draw it as well?
No, he hires different artists. He's sort of Harvey Pekar as his model. And,
right. Oh, nice.
So he's trying to get me, but I always joke that like he can't read anything outside of a bubble, and I have a hard time reading anything in a bubble. I don't know. I can't get it.
Right. So you surround yourself by people. So you get it through osmosis. You know a little bit about puzzles and a little bit about trivia and a little bit about
Harry Potter.
You like it? Did you read the book?
I did not read the books.
Did you actually?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I can tell you lots of things. Hobbit freaked me out a little bit. I think I read it too young and I got scared by something and I've never returned. I felt
you
the
might
same
have
way
gotten
about
scared the fact that it turns into a very dark adult novel at the end of it. That might have been what scared you when the dwarves go ape shit and decide that the elves are their enemies, and then luckily the goblins show up so they can join forces to fight them. And then
So you don't know anything about this at all?
Oh, I don't know anything about this. But what do you think of this as so let's see, you're Harry Potter dork. What do you think of this? Steve Mandel, friend of the show, loves the HeroClix, came up with an idea for my next album title, which is This Would Make an Excellent Horcrux. That's amazing! See? Yes! And you get it.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That's very good.
That would be very fun. A little long,
but it's fine, but who cares?
How about just Horcrux?
Or just like an amazing Horcrux.
Right.
That's very good. I watched all the movies. My husband's a huge Harry Potter fan.
Did he read the books?
He read the books.
Okay.
We saw the movies. He listens to Mugglecast, which is a Harry Potter
podcast.
I make fun of him.
I listen to the Tolkien Professor.
I understand. My thing is anything spies, anything action. And my husband loves what I like. Anytime Christmas comes around, he's like, "Can we sit down and watch Love Actually?" I'm like, "Ugh, there's got to be like a Born Identity that I can watch again. There's got to be like."
Do you ever read spy novels?
I have, and some of them I like, but I only like them if they have strong female leads.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
all right.
I try to just gravitate, and that's pretty. It's far and few between.
Right, you should write that book. Huh?
I know, I should.
Wouldn't you like to be a novelist?
I would love to be that, like, to write mystery and that spy stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I love it when it pays off.
Yep.
But I don't know, you have to write that backwards. I don't know. That's
Oh, do you?
I assume so, right? Because you have to make everything.
Oh, right, you have to know what the end is, I suppose. What the weird thing is I was saying that I really wanted to be a novelist.
I know,
but there's a problem. You have to write a novel. And
I love the idea that your plan B is harder than your plan A.
What I'd really like to be is La Femme Nikita. If someone could snatch me and force me to get in shape and become a killing machine.
I'm going to be a marathon runner who also sings on Broadway.
Ooh. La 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 la.
So I love that stuff. Luther, I've been watching that recently.
What is that?
Great. It's a
TV show?
It's a British television series that is it's sort of a procedural. It's like the standard kind of thing I like, where it's the lead detective is very complicated, has a lot of emotional problems, but is the genius.
Okay, sure.
And every
like
single
Monk,
right? But this guy's more disturbed.
Dexter.
Dexter, I liked, but at a certain point I couldn't watch it late at night because I just think about all the blood.
Too creepy.
I
never made it through the first season. I was like 4 or 5 episodes in, and I was like, yeah, I don't care if he's a good guy serial killer. Not a good guy.
Not a good guy.
Gotta move on.
I know. I do really like morality.
Yeah. I'm like, I hate to say that. There's a reason for the Hays Code, people. Chop, chop.
I know, and sometimes unresolved endings in any movie, I'm like, you know what, just tie it up with a pretty bow here. I've got to go on and live the rest of my life.
Right. What, Lady or the Tiger? I got to live this? I got to live your stupid Lady and the Tiger action? I got no time for this. And
every James Bond I love. I mean, I actually thought the last Daniel Craig,
Skyfall?
I thought it was, I gave it a B+.
Didn't get to see it yet. Want to. Didn't see the last Batman. I have seen The Avengers 4 times, and now I own it. And then I saw The Hobbit 3 times.
Yeah, and how'd you like The Hobbit?
I love The Hobbit.
I guess so, 3 times.
Yeah. And a friend of mine has given me their screener. That person's name will remain nameless so that the DGA doesn't give her any shit.
What is that? I didn't have that.
Loosey-goosey.
But a movie I could wake up every day and watch and always be happy, and I do. I think I've watched it about 300 times.
Yeah?
Is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
The first one?
Yeah.
I like my Nazis buffoonish. I have to tell you that.
I just love Marion.
Oh, do you love Marion?
I've modeled my entire life.
You have a little bit of a Marion look.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The idea that you drink people under the table. I tried that for many years.
Right. You do what you can. It turns out that's easier than you think. But all you have to do is commit, really.
I took a cultural anthropology degree because it was I wasn't very good at archaeology, too much science.
Yeah.
But it was the closest idea that I mean, everything in my life is basically based on that movie.
What's Marion's last name?
In the movie Ravenwood.
Thank you. What do you know about the character Marion Ravenwood?
What do I know? Well, when so Marion's father was Indiana Jones's professor.
That's right, Professor Ravenwood.
Correct. And through that, he met the daughter, but she was just a child. She was like 18 years old when they met.
Right.
And he started dating her against the father's wishes.
Right, because what would Indiana Jones have been at that time?
Yeah, he would have. I think he was about 10 years older. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So he was a star pupil.
Right.
Marion was a daughter. The mother is never talked about. Very weird.
Very weird. Very Disney.
Very Disney. So you have like a complicated thing that you don't know anything about, and just makes you feel there's a hole that will never be filled.
Right. And it obviously is Mrs. Ravenwood shaped.
Right. So they fell in love, but Indiana Jones kind of just took off because he was doing his own career, and the father was obsessed with the Ark. The Ark of the Covenant. And was dragging her around the world. Mm-hmm. And then he gets killed.
Now, do we know how he gets killed?
It's complicated because there's two varying things. One is that he got too close.
Okay.
Which is sort of why it's supposed to be the tension and the stakes that start with Indiana Jones, right?
Okay.
To say that anyone that tries to get too close to this gets killed.
Okay.
But it's mysterious.
And it isn't the guys with the fezzes that might have killed him, or we don't know?
Well, it could have been their fathers.
Okay, right. Yeah, of course, a generation later. But what were the guys with the fezzes called?
The guys with the fezzes.
The Order of the Stick? No, that's a comic strip online. The Order... they're like Templar Knights or something.
Templar Knights.
Were they?
That's Templar Knights. Yeah. That's in the third movie, though. You're going really ahead here.
I don't mean to jump ahead.
No, this is just Nazis and Arabs, basically, first movie.
Oh, that's right. Nazis and Arabs, that's right.
Nazis and Arabs.
Well, right, because they're outside of Cairo.
That's
and
right.
They're digging up the entirety of Alexandria.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but she ends up in Nepal, and that's where we find her, and she obviously ends up there as a young woman, has no idea what to do, so she runs a bar.
Right. And ends up looking like many a waitress in Wisconsin who runs a bar. And then smokes a lot. And can drink everyone under the table because she has a hollow leg.
She's got a hollow leg, and then the first time she sees the love of her life that basically broke her heart, and she feels like, being in Nepal running a bar, in my mind, I think stuff worked out for you. In her mind, didn't work out. This is not how she envisioned things. But she just punches him in the face.
Oh, yeah.
First scene, punch him in the face. Anyway.
Smack. She is a great character. She's such a great character that when Temple of Doom comes along and Spielberg's wife or whoever that is makes you want to just go, did you not see the first movie you made? Because this woman is a mess.
It is so sad.
I would have killed her.
Oh, yeah.
I would have smothered her with a pillow before we were out in the world of monkeys.
And I
monkey brains and whatever.
Right, and that mine shaft, just toss her out.
Exactly.
Toss her out one of those rolling
you and
cars.
Short round, help me out. Let's lose this baggage. And
no, and like, you know, I saw obviously that at an early age, and Star Wars at an early age. So Princess Leia, again, another strong character.
And Carrie Fisher. I don't mind basing my life on Carrie Fisher to some extent because she's awesome.
Me neither.
She's like the rich man's Liza Minnelli.
They're gone from cinema.
Oh, you don't have one? You can't think of a Squinty McClintock isn't a role model in your life? Squinty, it's Renee Zellweger.
No.
And
no.
right.
No.
I hate Renee Zellweger. I don't enjoy her. I don't know her.
I used to have a severe hate for her, and then she sort of like slightly disappeared, and I was like, well, there you go. Be careful what you wish for.
It's sort of like when our iguana was chasing me one day, and I put the shovel in front of my foot, and he gets to the shovel, and he's like, well, thank God she's gone. And
you just start a sentence with by saying when our iguana was chasing me. That's an okay sentence for
Tiberius will have some male rage sometimes, but it is rare. He's usually very sweet. And
I love Star Trek. Speaking of
Star Trek?
Yeah.
Which Star Trek? Did you see the original? You saw the original,
yeah, I grew up on that.
Right. Somebody just tweeted it was Steve Mandel again. Let's talk about Steve Mandel.
Steve, you're really a problem.
Steve,
you pop up a
the
lot.
Horcrux thing was coming up, but here, Tribbles versus Wookiees?
Oh, come on!
Tribbles aren't even sentient. How are you supposed to have that conversation with someone?
Like the size of two earmuffs that they put on a set?
I was like, and the fact that Chewbacca didn't get a medal at the end of that first movie.
Yeah, no wonder he was yelling.
There was injustice.
Growl. I would growl.
I can't do the Chewbacca voice.
But yeah, I feel like those women are, I love that. If I could, I just wait for them to make another Indiana Jones. I watch it every time and I find some other reason why it's great.
So The Last Crusade just had the Nazi blonde, who I didn't like.
Yeah, it was okay. I liked the Templar. Sean Connery was kind of an interesting addition. Like, that was good.
I really liked The Last Crusade. Yeah.
But then the remake where they brought back Marion and had...
I was psyched that she was back.
So was I, and then I saw it.
Then I saw the actual film, and there was some trouble with the crystal skulls.
Oh, and the aliens, and something happened.
Hiding in a refrigerator.
I couldn't.
First of all, let me tell you something about refrigerators. You can't get out of a lot. You close the door on a refrigerator, you now die in a refrigerator. That's how you die. Because I don't think you're familiar with the fact that when you dispose of a refrigerator, you're supposed to take the door off.
That's right, because it's that weird suction, right?
Yeah, you can't get out. It's keeping food fresh.
In that beginning scene, I think that's the first scene, right? The nuke, the fridge is tumbling along like a field or whatever.
Yes.
And they have a little chipmunk or groundhog or whatever, like pop up and look at the camera. And at that point, I was like, this movie's going to be horrible. Right there, I was like, no, this is not what we're doing.
He's been George Lucas-sized.
This is not humor.
Yeah.
This is not my idea of humor.
Right. I'm sorry. I do comedy for a living, and I'm very tolerant, quite honestly. Maria Bamford has taught me a tolerance in stand-up comedy and in life about everyone's on their own journey, man.
Wow, that's amazing.
I was sitting next to her in Australia. We were watching Mime. And I literally, we were watching two Japanese mimes, and I lean over and I'm like, it's great, but what could you do with it? And she looked at me and she's like, it's not broken. It's fine. It's already doing what it's supposed to. And she's like, it's amazing, right? And I was like, and that's where she gave me the out. I like it's amazing, right?
Right?
Right? Yes, it is, Maria Bamford. You are correct.
That's like when people ask you, you're good, right?
And
you can't say, no, I'm like, that's too big of a conversation.
How about I love, you do stand-up comedy? Are you funny? And I always go, I am amazing. It is hard to be me.
That's so funny. You know what I say?
What?
I always go, not really.
I had to
make them go, what?
Where was I? Some bad situation. I was doing some weird, I think it was a one-nighter. And I checked in to the hotel. Oh, yeah, it was in Phoenix, whatever. But it was called the Monkey Pants was the name of the...
No.
Yes, that was the name of the bar. They had goldfish races after the stand-up comedy where you would squirt water at goldfish to make them go faster. And I was like, you realize that that's actually not okay. Like, that's kind of... I mean, I know goldfish...
I don't love PETA, but, you know...
Yeah, that seems...
just let them go.
Hey, speaking of PETA, can I ask you? We've weeded off of Star Trek. Veal.
Yeah, supposedly the worst.
Supposedly the worst. And yet, whenever you are offered it on a menu, it's been pounded, breaded, and deep fried. Shouldn't it be tartare? If it's so fucking amazing.
If it's so succulent and lovely. Yeah, that is an excellent point. You're right, I've never seen veal tartare. You know, I have a bad feeling that they do all this crazy shit to the meat, and it's tender, but it tastes terrible.
I bet.
I think it's just disgusting.
It just seems I've never
or something too gamey for people. Maybe
gamey. It's just a cow, though. It should be beef.
A little cow. I don't know if I've ever really eaten veal. Perhaps by accident.
I think I ate it when I was a kid, because we would go out for Italian.
Yeah, and it's just all over the place.
It was all over the place in Italian restaurants, and my dad, I think, thought it was funny to order it for me and then explain while I was eating what I was eating, because he's a riot. My dad sometimes.
That is. At least he has a sense of humor. I love food humor, by the way. It's some of my favorite. Food humor.
Jackass alert. Ellie finds something funny.
I'm going to order something weird for you. I think I can eat every food, and I always try to test this. But yeah, food is my adventure.
Okay. Do you live by the motto, Ophira? Fear no food?
Fear no food, although I'm having a hard time with innards.
Oh, innards?
Some innards I can't handle.
There's a chicken place in Los Angeles called Dinah's Fried Chicken, and you can go there and you can get a plate of fried gizzards and livers.
Yeah.
And we went there the other day. It was excellent.
Did you have the gizzards and the livers?
Yeah.
And it was good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's something about the kidneys and I have a hard time with, I think.
Kippers?
Kidneys?
What is a kipper?
Kidneys?
Kidneys. Because kidneys and kippers are different, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We'll have to Google that. Is there like, when we say this, will Wiki come up somewhere?
Yeah. There'll be something.
But I just found, I thought I hated gooey duck. I solved that problem. Thank God. That was really weighing on me. Gooey duck is the foot of the giant clam that it attaches itself to the ocean to. So the giant clam has that foot that comes out.
Yeah.
Pseudopod, I believe, is what we learned its name was in school.
And someone's like, let's eat that.
It's a big slimy mussel, basically, and it's very common in sushi. But I always thought I didn't like it, and then I never see it around. It's a very West Coast thing, I think.
Right.
And then I saw it on a menu here, and I was like, it's time to get over this.
Okay.
I have very low goals.
Right. You're like, I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to go over the hump on that. It's, I don't know. There's almost, I found out recently I'm allergic to raw beets. But I like a beet. I like a cooked beet a great deal.
Why would you eat a raw beet? Oh, like a shaved
like a juice. Or a shaved beet on a salad.
Yeah.
The shaved beet on a salad I found out before a show. You know how some people can't... Yeah, that was... I threw up in a parking lot right in front of a place called Big Wang's. Here's the good news.
Not the first time that's happened, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry, did I...
No, that's perfect. That's it exactly. I was like, and then I went and I did my set, like green, gray. I look like the Hulk.
What is Big Wang's?
Big Wang's is supposedly a chicken wing place. Named Big Wang's. And
they were out of eyes?
They were out of a sense of self.
Wings?
You know what? Los Angeles is full of places that are ridiculously named. There's a place called Meaty Meat, and they serve meat, it turns out. But the one place that had stand-up that I just recently did on Sunset Boulevard, it's called Pink Taco.
Pink Taco.
Oh, guess who didn't get it? Gramication didn't get the joke of Pink Taco, and I was like, are the tacos pink? I said, I'm doing stand-up tonight at a place called Pink Taco. Are the tacos pink? On Facebook. It led to a long thread about how I do not have my shit together when it comes to vagina references.
And what are they? Do they serve
Mexican food?
They do.
Yeah.
And they're just fine with that.
And as soon as I realized that it was called Pink Taco, for that reason, I got in touch with the Polish immigrant who runs that room, and I said, I'm going to need $100 to do this gig in Los Angeles. And he said, done. And then I got there and found out that where he got the $100 is because it was a bringer.
Oh.
And so it was me and 17 young comics who all had to bring like 3 people. And if you couldn't bring anybody, you had to pay him $15.
Oh my God, Pink Taco is like turning tricks.
Yeah,
basically.
I was like, oh,
dirty,
so the $100
dirty.
are coming from these young comics that now I want to punch myself in the face.
Oh.
But again, there's no hitting. There's no hitting in Grown Up Land.
No, and sometimes you just take the $100 and you go, well, I did put in my time.
I did, and I did a good show, and I had to spend $20 on parking and a Diet Coke, so I'm going to get out of here.
When I moved to New York, I didn't know what a bringer show was. It didn't exist in Toronto. It now does a little bit because they understood that's how it works for amateur nights, blah, blah, whatever. But I didn't know what that was. I got booked on one.
Explain what it is for the 9 people who might not know.
Oh, if you don't know, it's this lovely thing where when you just start comedy, you want to do a show, they say at a club usually, they go, no problem, we would love to have you on our show. Fantastic. We have also heard wonderful things about you. We are so excited to have you on our stage. So here's how it works. You're going to need to show up at 7:45 and bring 10 people. Just 10 of your friends. Get them to call this number immediately and make a reservation. If they don't make a reservation ahead of time, we're not going to count them. It's going to be $15 in cash and a 2-drink minimum. And just get 10 of your friends. It's going to be so much fun. Can't wait to have you. And then you have to do that. And if you don't do that, you do not go on the stage.
Right. If 6 people show up and they needed 10, it affects how much time you might get. Sometimes they don't let you up.
And they are not reasonable about this at all.
No, because it is essentially a producer's way of making money. They say it's a way to pay for the room, and that's fine, except that there are plenty of rooms that will just let you do it. Like, you could have a free show at a coffee shop where 100 comics will show up, and here's what I will say, small business owner. We're hard on napkins, stand-up comics. We steal all of your napkins and write set lists on them.
Hard on napkins.
So
you can open up a comedy club. Got a lot of napkins.
So did you do bringers when you came?
Well, I didn't know what it was. I've done.
Did you know anybody?
I didn't know anybody. But I was working. My friend. I came here to stay at a friend's place who had was a fashion designer and had a store.
Okay.
So I called up. I was going to do a bringer. It was a pretty modest bringer. They wanted 5 people.
Okay.
And I thought it was a suggestion.
Right.
And I went, okay, I'm from Canada too. And I took everything and oh, really? You're happy to have me? Okay, great, see you then. I thought they were more happy to have me, but they weren't as happy to have me. They were happy to have my people. So then I got a call the day of just to confirm me, and they're like, do you have your 5 people? We have no reservations in your name. And I was like, well,
I told people about it.
I was like, I only know a couple people. I just moved here. I think my friend Seth is going to come, which was true. I said, but I don't think I can do it. And they were just like, well, no, you have to do it.
There's another thing that happens only in New York and not in LA, which is if you flyer, you can get a spot.
Or as they say it in UK, leaflet.
Leaflet.
If you leaflet.
Right. When I tried to move to New York and do stand-up comedy in 1989.
Oh.
I got a job, the worst job I've ever had in my life, and I used to work at Kinko's.
I worked at Kinko's?
Did you work at Kinko's?
I did.
Were you a Kinkoid?
I was.
We have the same voice, and you worked at Kinko's? How long did you work at Kinko's?
I think 2 years.
Did you ever make over $7 an hour?
No, and I worked in the computer side.
Oh, I did computer lessons for people. I showed them how to use a mouse.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And what the first internet site they ever went to and how to search on Alta Vista.
I used to do a joke. I still do. It's in the vault. I pull it out sometimes.
Bring it out tonight.
Which is that Iraq is almost exactly like working at Kinko's. Think about the last time you were at Kinko's. That's what Iraq is like. It's quiet. It's tense.
And you're never getting that poster made.
And everyone is thinking of themselves, am I going to kill someone? Or is someone going to kill me?
Well, and there was a distinction between the copy people and the computer people.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of cross-pollination, but I hung out with a lot of the copy people.
You know why? Because you're social. You're a social animal.
And they were cooler. And then I realized very quickly, because I did this in Vancouver. Which Kinko's did you work at?
Minneapolis.
I wonder if it was an interesting combination of places. They would,
a lot of bands.
They would get on the loudspeaker, whatever speaker system,
okay.
and say 15 minutes to safety meeting. and that meant we would go out back and smoke pot.
Oh, that's awesome. There was a lot of pot smoking. I knew it was the end of my time at Kinko's when I was working a Saturday with a guy who used to be a manager at Kinko's, who had then decided he just wanted to be a regular Kinko grunt again and demoted himself. He was in the back. I remember distinctly. He was eating a croissant sandwich. They had just been introduced, 91.
Yeah, why not get excited about that?
Yeah, and so I was working, and a woman came in. You know how, like, when you'd work there, the middle management people would come in. Let's tape this guy's conversation. I'm on the canal. Anyway, so what happened was I got into it with this woman. I was super polite. I was always, I'm a very happy person.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Kinko's. How can I help you? And she's like, I need color copies. So I tried to make color copies. The red was broken, and so it didn't work.
Oh, no.
Oh, I know. I made a lot of free copies for her, and I was like, you can either have these or, I'm sorry, our color copier is obviously broken. There's another Kinko's a mile and a half from here in Uptown. And she's like, can you try again? And I had tried 3 times, and I was like, no, we're done now. And she goes, if you ever are in a retail situation, do not say to a person, well, how long have you worked here? Because that will make that person want to strangle you with a ream of paper. You will have been beaten to death with a ream of cardstock.
Right, there's no answer that doesn't make you feel bad, because if you say years and years, you realize how many years you've been wasting your life.
If it's months, I'm like, it's a year and a half. I'd been working there, and she was like, well, you'd think you'd know how to use the machines. And I said, and we're done now. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah.
And she goes, what? And I said, we're done. And you can have those if you want, but you got to go. And she goes, can I talk to your manager? And I said, why don't you try talking to me like a person? And all of a sudden, pad, out from Sandwich Land, my coworker comes. Hey, Jackie, why don't we tag out? And he's pulling on my shoulder. And I'm like, no, there's no reason to leave. She's leaving. There's no reason to tag out. And she's like, and he goes, no, really, let me just take over. And so I stand behind him. I am facing her. He is facing her. She is facing us. He can't see me. She can see me. And she starts making shit up about how I was rude to begin with and I don't know what I'm doing. So I mouth the words at her, cry baby, cry baby. At which point, and then I make the one tear going down the face gesture, at which point she yells, I am not a crybaby, and storms out. I was shortly after, I was reprimanded by my 23-year-old manager, who was like, you gotta tag out, Jackie. You just have to.
We're not going to fire you.
We're not going to fire you.
We totally understand.
I know you're making $6.15 an hour, but we're not going to.
And when the red goes out, a lot of things happen.
There was no replacing the toner cartridge. It was not my fault.
Right, that's back when you would the red's out, we have to call up Canon.
Right. How did you leave Kinko's, I wonder?
My first comedy show was while I still worked at Kinko's.
Oh, yeah?
And I called in sick for my shift to do my very first thing on stage.
Oh.
And then didn't do it again for a long time after that because I got so scared. But after that, and then a bunch of people came from Kinko's or whatever, I had this feeling that I could probably get a better job. Like, it was somehow from the first time I did stand-up comedy, and I was not good at all. Right. It was just enough self-worth.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe I can do something else.
Yes. Yeah, and that is the insidious thing about finding something you love. You get self-worth out of it. Just a little bit. Just enough to rattle the cage. Ophira Eisenberg, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
For doing the Dork Forest. Talk about plug some stuff. What do you got?
Well, if you want to listen to the NPR show, it's available as a podcast. And
the name of it again?
It's called Ask Me Another.
Ask Me Another.
On iTunes. You can go to my website, which is ophiraeisenberg.com. Good luck spelling it. It's up to you.
It will be linked in the notes.
Since my Ferguson spot was canceled because I couldn't get out there due to Hurricane Sandy, it will happen sometime in the next few months.
Oh, that's neat. Craig Ferguson.
Yeah. So
that'll be congratulations.
Yeah, one day. One day soon.
All right, American public, you've chosen wisely. Have a good one. I'm going to do the credits here at the end as we still sit where the room tone is supposedly happening. JackieCation.com, dorkforest.com, thedorkforest.com. It's all like that. And you can get it on iTunes. You can get it on allthingscomedy.com, which is the Al Madrigal, Bill Burr comedy podcast umbrella that the Dork Forest is part of. And there's lots of great podcasts on there. I'm supposed to plug some of that, so why don't you go over there and look around, see if there are other podcasts you would like Ari Shaffir or Baron Vaughn. They both have podcasts. Baron Vaughn's great. Ari Shaffir is filthy and hilarious. And then, of course, there's merch. If you ever want a T-shirt, a Dork Forest T-shirt, there's 2 different kinds. Go to JackieCation.com and the merch page. Both of my CDs, Circus People and It Is Never Going to Be Bread, available there. You can also get that on Amazon or iTunes. And there's a donation button. Knock yourselves out, folks. February, a little light. So feel free to donate. You're doing good work. All right. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care out there. Take care of each other, too. Bye.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh, my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?